So today we are going to be doing a little lab to test the law of conservation of mass. And the actual experiment that we are doing is one that is pretty commonplace, but the concept that of course we're testing is very profound, as it affects all of chemical reactions throughout. And so what I have here set up today is my main ingredients are going to be baking soda and vinegar, an experiment that many of you have undoubtedly seen before in the past and are pretty familiar with. But if we do this right, hopefully we're going to be able to make a pretty good test on seeing whether the law of conservation of mass holds true. In front of you, you see the equation there. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. We're reacting it with vinegar, which is a form of acetic acid, or CH3COOH. And we're going to create, or the products that we will come up with are going to be carbon dioxide, water, and then you see the sodium acetate at the end. And so that is kind of, in a nutshell, the experiment that we're going to run. Now we're going to do it though in such a way that hopefully we can get some pretty good measurements and give it a pretty fair test. First thing I want to do here today, if I follow my instructions, I'm going to measure out somewhere between 6 and 8 grams of my baking soda. So I turn on my scale. Oh, kind of reset it here. Give it a second. There we go. And the technique that I'll use, of course, as per normal, I'm going to put a little watch glass on top of the scale, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my my baking soda or my sodium bicarbonate. Oh, I'm going to redo that because I forgot to tear the scale. If I go this way, instead of subtracting the difference, I'm going to be able to just hit tear, and then I'll be able to see when we get somewhere between 6 and 8 grams of it. So I'll drop it on in here. 3.69, we're getting pretty close. There we go. We're within the range now. Just we'll get right about to 7, maybe a little bit more than that. 7.61 grams. And so the first bit of data that I want to keep track is I got 7.61 grams, or 60 grams of my baking soda. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into my little sandwich baggie here. All right, my little sandwich baggie. I'll drop that in here for storage, and put the watch glass away. Next then, I'm going to measure out 15 milliliters of my vinegar. This is vinegar. It's nice clear vinegar. So we see it well as I drop it into my graduated cylinder, right to 15. Good. And the vinegar we're going to put into this little plastic dish. Most of you probably don't even see these anymore. This is a film canister. Back in the good old days, before digital photography, we actually had to use these to hold our film when we would take pictures. Well, next then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the mass of the snack baggie that's got that has the baking soda in it. I want to find the mass of the vinegar and film canister. Try to center this a little bit more. And there's going to be a second bag, another second Ziploc freezer bag that we're going to put everything in as well. And with that, I'll try to see if we can't hold that in place, keep it all on the scale well. That doesn't want to stay folded. We're going to give it a go. And we see 32.96 grams. 32.96 grams. That is going to be my initial mass. 32.96. I'll put that down on my data table. Next step can be a little tricky, but we're going to try to make it happen pretty well. I want to get this baggie opened, and I'm going to put the film canister in here. But I don't want to mix them yet. I don't want to mix them yet. My goal is to try and catch any gases that are escaping in the reaction in the bag. And so this sandwich bag here, I'm going to try to squeeze out the air as best that I can. So all I have in here is pretty much just my vinegar and baking soda. Squeezed out pretty well, and then I'm going to seal that off. Now these little sandwich baggies do a decent job of holding things, but to improve our catching of the gas, all right, I want to make sure I don't tip this over and spill it. I'm going to put it in the freezer bag here as well. And the freezer bag is just a little thicker plastic. I can get a little better seal, really try to do a little better job catching